the thing that keeps snapping you back to square one sits one level deeper than what you are trying to fix. And I found mine by accident in front of over 800 people with my eyes closed. It's September 2021 and I joined a transformational coaching program with a closed Facebook group. 839 strangers and some of the coaches that I respect the most in the world, but who are also very no bullshit and who will call you out. But wait, it gets even crazier. Some days before, I wanted to book that thing and my hands are shaking. $2,979. I never spent that much money on myself. On holidays, maybe, but never on my internal self. How weird is that? I have a master's in neuroscience. I have so many coaching hours. I have been working for that money. And here I'm shaking over a checkout button. And you have to understand who I was back then. The straight A student. My bachelor thesis, my master thesis, every prepared presentation, most of the exams, 4 points. And then the one moment that nobody can prepare you for. Defending my master thesis live in front of professors who will ask me something that I just cannot prepare for. And I'm standing there after so many years of studying, I just black out. I don't know what to say and I receive a C, which is okay, but for the straight A student, it was traumatizing. And that transformational coaching program also had a challenge for those who have a visibility problem. You go live in that group in front of over 800 strangers for at least 60 days of the 90-day program, and they all get a ping when you go live. And when that invitation to the challenge came on, I was like, oh my God, I can't do that. What if I stumble over my words? What if those coaches tune in and I'll be judged by them for whatever I should be talking about? I mean, English is my 4th language. What if they don't even get what I'm talking about? That's just too embarrassing. I won't do that. I mean, yeah, I am kind of transforming my identity in the program, right? But maybe I will leave that challenge out. Of course I don't. I paid and I'm doing it. So I remember standing in front of my room, once again with my phone shaking in my hand. I'm going to do it. I'm going to Augen zu und durch, Marty. Close your eyes and push through it. I push the button and I go live. And it was exactly like I feared it to be. I stumbled, I forgot, I just rambled about whatever. So why the heck did I challenge myself? I mean, it was optional in the program. You know, your body follows a rule that outranks every habit you will ever build. What you do has to match who you are. And psychologists have a neat little name for it: self-verification. You don't repeat what works in your life, you repeat what fits. And when you build a habit that contradicts the identity underneath, the identity wins every time. And the twist is that you never get to choose that identity. It got installed before you were even able to say no. Like I have the typical backstory that so many of you have. I am the immigrant kid. My grandma was a teacher, and I learned that you have to study well to succeed in that new country. Because when your survival depends on being the good student, you learn to use learning as a shield. Just study more as a solution to everything. And you avoid doing the actual internal work because nobody ever taught you that. So you and I do the actual reasonable thing. We study. Another book, another video, another course. And your brain does count that as progress. Wow, we are into self-improvement. We are developing our identity, which is exactly how you can work on yourself for years without ever actually touching anything underneath. Remember what I was afraid of in that coaching program? It wasn't just going live, it was being seen by others, by professionals going live. And then somewhere around live stream 40, it happens. I go live, I talk about something, and then, oh, hi, Diane. Hi, Coach Eichel. And I just continue talking, just giving them a short update. And that was it. Okay, live stream finished. It happened. The thing I was so terrified about just happened and I wasn't even aware of it. That's it. That was the fix. 6 weeks of walking straight into it challenged that underneath identity of the straight A student who has to prepare everything, and that identity stopped running the show. Wow, Marty, congratulations. Now you transformed your identity forever. Old identities are sneaky. When you don't continue to challenge them, they will creep up from behind the stage and start to rule your life without you noticing it. Because funny enough, it turns out it's happening again. Right now. It's 2026. I started my YouTube channel and I work on my scripts because I want to give the viewers the best experience possible. I want to level up 1% better every script. So I polish the sentences. It has to have impact, right? I don't want to disappoint anyone. I don't want you to waste your time here. So I call that commitment and diligence. But I want to challenge myself. So I even do this. Fancy little gloves and a hat to feel a little risque compared to other personal development talking heads. But you know what? Judgment of other people scares me. But doing these videos after like 40 of them that some of you are watching, it doesn't scare me at all anymore. That's how I know it doesn't count as a challenge and the straight A student took over again. And you can tell those things apart very easily. The real challenge not only scares you, but annoys you. You don't want to do that, and to be honest, you don't really have to do. And the fake challenge, the one that your old identity convinces you, yes, that is growth, that will help you, looks bold on the outside, but costs you nothing. And that thing your identity forbids, it has a name. And I call that thing the Demon Lord. If you grew up on the same games and anime like I did, you know him, the boss that nobody sees for most of the story because he never shows up in the early levels. He just sits in his castle at the edge of the map, controls everything, and everything that goes wrong because of him. And your Demon Lord is whatever your old identity forbids you to do or be. For the straight A student, it was speaking without a script in front of professionals. Live video 1 of those 60 was me walking into the Demon Lord's chamber. So what does your identity forbid you to do? Maybe you are the intelligent super hacker and you sit there with your Linux computer and the terminal open and everybody who passes you at work thinks, wow, that looks so complicated what you're doing. You must be challenged every day. And the real challenge for you would be joining that paint club that opened in the street that you pass every day and it somehow looks so harmonious and peaceful, but it's just too annoying. You don't even know how to join such a thing, and it's not necessary, so you don't do it. Or you are so empathetic and sweet, and your best friend talks the whole time and is so excited, and you share the excitement, but you can't really share anything about yourself. But that's fine. You can just text them afterwards. It's not like you need to confront that person. So when you look for your Demon Lord, don't pick the hardest thing you can imagine to do, but pick the one that's kind of annoys you. You don't really have to do that. It's okay if I just leave it as it is, that one. So here is my Demon Lord creeping up from the shadows where he was left lurking alone long enough that he could recover. And I'm going to challenge him again, because I know that the identity of a straight A student won't bring me the life that I want to have. So I decide Friday, 31st of July, instead of my normal video, I will be going live here on YouTube. A little prepared, no script. And I decided that it won't be additionally to my normal video because that way that live stream is so much more annoying. Maybe nobody comes, and that's fine because the audience is not the point. The point is that my inner good student hates everything about this idea. And that shows me that I'm going to really annoy my demon lord and challenge that old identity. So my friends, thank you for listening. And if there was just a little moment of your demon lord thinking, no, she doesn't talk about that. She does talk about that. Tell me in the comments what it is. And I want us to challenge our old identities together. If you want to join me Friday 31st, subscribe, push the notification bell button thing, and I'd be happy to see you there. And if not, I will still be there. Goodbye.